What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lord Owen. This is Colts Law, and this is going to be great. Yesterday, Carrie made it official. It was official by the Indianapolis Colts that he re-signed for a 1-year, $2 million deal. And, we're going to talk about that and get to the questions and comments in the live chat right after this.
All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, also don't forget, we have a certain situation going on. Last week, I had a problem. Okay? Very, very busy. I completely forgot that Friday I was supposed to announce the winner of my merch giveaway. On Twitter, I had a tweet out there talking about if you retweeted and followed me, and those were two very important parts of that. You had to retweet it and follow me. That anyone that done that would be entered in my merch shop giveaway. $30 item or less sent to you by me, and I would contact you in the DMs of Twitter after the announcement. Now, I will get to that giveaway right after I talk about the Carrie signing. Daryl Ingram, Nano 505, thanks so much for being here. Sarah, what's going on? Yes, I am incredibly happy that Carrie re-signed. Thank you so much for being here. If you're here and you're watching this, please don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so that you're notified when I go live or upload a video, because a lot of people don't get those notifications, and if you hit that notification bell, you will be notified, all right? Don't forget about my merch shop right up here. There's also a link in the description. It actually is a place where, like I said, the winner will be able to, will need to go in there anyhow and check out what I got for you guys to select from. There's plenty of options. Also, real quick, if you want to put in for a phone case cover and the exact cover is not there, but you have a Samsung or an iPhone, then you can send me in the DMs the exact type of Samsung or iPhone that you have, and I will see if I can put it up, because I have multiple options for that. I only have one case cover for each one, the iPhone Mini, and then the Samsungs. So that's just to show that I have it there available, but because there's so many different models of those phones that I didn't want to sit there and go through 30 different iPhone cases, you know. So just let me know if that's what you decide you want. Colts Nation says, bring the team back. Colts talking more. It was a good move because he allowed 57% passer rating. I don't care what you say. That's cheap. See, here's the thing. Okay, Carrie, he's good against man coverage, believe it or not. And a lot of people are like, well, he's just a nickel back. You know, he's just a nickel corner, but he's not. He came in and he would help on the outside, especially when Rocky Sin was having issues covering man. Rocky Sin was very good last year against zone coverage, but Carrie was better against man coverage, and that's why they flipped them out and used Carrie in man coverage. I think that it's a good buy, especially with the question mark about Rocky Sin. TJ also adds good depth for $2 million for 1 year. I mean, that's a heck of a deal for a solid guy that's probably going to get anywhere between 50 and 60% of the defensive snaps, right? Heck of a deal, especially someone who plays all right. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. He supplied the Colts defense 2 touchdowns last year. One on a pick 6 interception, and then one when EJ Speed blocked the punt in Week 10 versus the Titans, right? And then Carrie scooped it up, ran it in for a touchdown. One of the reasons why we defeated the Tennessee Titans that game. So Carrie is not just a starter or a good player on the defense. He also plays special teams and does it at a high level. So love that fact. Love it. TJ is not someone that's going to be like your high-end guy. He's not Xavier Rhodes, right? And a lot of people, beginning of last year was like, well, Xavier Rhodes wasn't a high-end guy. But he is, and we all know it because, he played healthy. And TJ came from the Browns, who have some decent corners, right? Like Ward. They had to let TJ go just because they had a lot of good corners over there. Now, in my opinion, that they even picked up another corner this past offseason, the Browns did. I like TJ Carrie. I really, really do. I think he's good at best. And what happens, God forbid, if a certain Moore, our cornerback, right? What if Kenny Moore gets hurt and has to miss a few snaps? We're going to need a good nickel corner. And that's the great thing about nickel is generally they play kind of man right off of the get-go, right? Because even if they're playing zone, they have to follow that guy out and play man just for a moment because they're closer to the quarterback. And that's a situation where you kind of got to sell zone for a minute to hide it, even, or sell man, even if you're playing zone. So that's good. Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? That's my wife, Avalon, too. What's going on, sweetie? She's downstairs watching the video right now, my live stream. Matthew St. Thomas, what jersey am I repping? Well, hold on one moment. Let's see if I can't turn that around. Does that look familiar? This is the only jersey that survived my house fire from about 5 years ago. One of the only two major items that survived. It's got some burn marks on the back, on the bottom. But it survived. So, yeah. My boy. Dwight Freeney's my favorite defensive player for the Colts of all time. One of my favorite players of all time for the Indianapolis Colts. So, I'm very happy that this was the one thing when it comes to Colts memorabilia that, survived that house fire. Just letting you know. Would you be okay with the Colts getting a high-risk, high-reward player like Walker Little? Because if he does not pan out, we have Sam Tebby. Well, I like Tebby. I don't want Tebby to be that starter. That's the issue, okay? Sam Tebby is not that guy that I believe will be long-term starter. If he has to come in for a game or two, or even half a game or something, I'd be confident in Tebby playing because we'll be able to use tight ends to help keep guys inside with him. But I got a film room on Sam Tebby. If you guys are interested in that, you can go check that out as well. He would survive. I think his Ring of Honor towel hanging in my bedroom, gifted to me by a generous Colts season ticket holder. That's awesome. Oh, you're talking about Dwight Freeney, yeah. Nano asks, who should we draft at tight end? I really haven't looked. Obviously, there's a few of them. I don't think we grab a tight end till 4th or 5th round. And I think it's going to be more of a specialized grab because we still have Jack Doyle. We still have Mo Alley Cox. Both very good blocking tight ends. I think whatever tight end that they do draft, if they draft a tight end, will probably be one of them receiving kind of guys, right? One of like the Eric Ebrons that we had, or Zach Ertz that we're looking at, coming up. A lot of people are interested in Zach Ertz. If we grab someone there, I don't think we get Zach Ertz this offseason. So we'll see. But guys, I said it'd be 15 minutes in. It's 10 minutes in, and I think it's time, right? Let's find out. I think we got about 10 people watching this live stream. 10. That's sad for me. I thought I was more important than that. No, I'm all good, man. I love the fact that you guys are here. But anyhow, so what I'm going to do is I got a 20-sided dice here because we only had 20 people retweet. 20 people retweet that tweet that I had last week for my merch shop. So I'm going to go in here to my Twitter, and I am going to go to my bookmarks because I'm not stupid, and I bookmarked this tweet. And I'm going to go to the retweets. And remember, you have to be following me. There's a few people that are not following me. Now, I'm going to say, Sarah, I'm going to follow you because you're not following me, but I'm going to follow you. You did retweet this, and you are a big-time person here on my show, so I am going to keep you in it either way. So here we go. I am going to drop it, and it's the 15th person that retweeted, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You ain't gonna believe this. Harrison Woods, UK Colts fan. I'm gonna have to pay shipping and handling. I'm going to have to pay some shipping and handling because this is going across seas over to the United Kingdom. But you know what? I'm good with that. I'm good with that because my guy is a good follower of me. He's got a little check. You could actually check him out too, UK Colts fan Harrison Woods on Twitter. You could also check out UK Colts fans here on YouTube. He did a retweet of me. He follows me, and he gets to go in and check that out. Sarah Small says, love your hoodie. My wife does too. We actually bought that hoodie. So it's supposed to be in tomorrow. So my next live stream that I run, I might be wearing some of my own merch. But congratulations to Harrison Woods. I'm going to DM him after this live stream and get what he wants and his address for me to ship this. Whatever it is, whether it's cups, whether it's phone covers, whether it's shirts, hoodies, whatever it is. And don't forget, check out my merch shop while you're here. You know, like I said, it's right up here or in the description below. Got a lot of great stuff in there. I could put more on there if I need. But anyhow, that's my first time doing a giveaway. I will probably be doing more giveaways. I'll probably do one once a month, you know, depending upon how well my channel does. It seems fair to me. Let's get in here and look at the live chat. Any questions? Do we have any questions about the Indianapolis Colts or the NFL in general? I know at 5 o'clock, Bring the Juice podcast is going to be doing a massive live stream doing mock draft with a few other people on there. Pedro, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you being here. As you can tell by his logo there, he is a Patriots fan, but that's cool. That's cool by me. You know, I welcome everybody into my family, my YouTube family. Hello from Brazil. Yeah. That's even awesome. That's even more awesome. Appreciate you. I think the Colts, now that they got TJ Carrie, I think they have an issue. A lot of people say that since they got TJ Carrie back, that cornerback is not that big of a deal. I still think that it's important enough to get somebody 4th through 7th. We do have some players. We have some youth. And I think they will get better as, the years progress and they get more experience. But I wouldn't mind grab cornerback. It's still a position that I think you can grab youth with. Obviously, pass rush, left tackle, the number 1, number 2 spot. Depending upon where you put it, whether it be left tackle or pass rush dead left tackle, doesn't matter to me. I think they're both very important in this upcoming draft. And I think depending upon how the draft falls is depending upon how Chris Ballard drafts. And if he has to miss somewhere, then we might see another signing coming up this offseason, after the draft. Like, what if there's no one there for him to get at pass rusher in the draft? He'll probably bring back someone like, either Ryan Kerrigan or Justin Houston or someone like that. Interesting question by Nano505. How many touchdowns will T.Y. have this year? I'm going to put a line on and say 5, okay? I don't think T.Y. is going to be our number 1 receiver, and I think we got some really big targets to use in the red zone with guys like Michael Pittman Jr., guys like our tight ends, Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox. We got some big guys. I think T.Y. will still, because of his route running and the fact that, quarterbacks still trust him, he's good at getting in that little slot zone right there, even in tight coverage and zone coverage when you're really close to the line of scrimmage. So I could see 5 to 7. I'm going to go with 5 to 7. I got Michael Pittman getting 8 to 10, and I got Paris Campbell getting like 4 to 5. But I think Paris Campbell leads the team in receiving yards if he stays healthy. That's a big if, right? If he still stays healthy. Matthew says, are we going to watch the whole first round just for Ballard to trade down in the end? It's possible, but, he could trade down to the end of the first round too. If he trades from the 21st to like the 29th or 30th, he could still pick up a 3rd round pick and still be picking in the first round. So that's possible as well. That was a question that was brought up by somebody on Twitter, and I answered it that specific way, that there's a good possibility that he might do that just to pick up his 3rd round pick and still be able to pick somebody up, in the first. Daryl says, hey, Lawrence, your thoughts on some of the 2nd round offensive tackle, Walker Little, Liam Eichenberg, or Jackson Carman? I think that the 2nd round tackles are guys where I think Chris Ballard's going to have to keep a close eye on. If they start to run off the board, and he did not pick left tackle in the first pick of the draft, and he's in the 2nd. He's really late in the 2nd round. I think it's 54. If, let's say you get around 40 to 45, and 7 or 8 guys fall off that board at left tackle, I could see Ballard possibly using a 4th to 6th round pick with his 2nd round pick to move up to grab someone like Eichenberg. All right. So that's what I'm saying. If they last that long, because as much as deep as offensive tackle is in this draft, you still want a good quality starting tackle for the Colts. And I think it would be worth spending a little bit of extra, if need be, to move up into the 2nd to grab that guy. Because, quite frankly, the Colts, really, in my opinion, outside of pass rush and offensive tackle, because we got some depth now because Ballard went out and grabbed some offensive line depth this offseason. Those are the 2 spots that I think really need fixed. And as a team, all around, they're solid. We got great starters and depth across the board. We could probably use an extra linebacker depth. Obviously, Pass rush, get as many as you darn well can. Wide receiver or tight end, wouldn't mind getting an extra one or two of those. I wouldn't want to see a tight end or a wide receiver earlier than 3, if he happens to trade back and get an extra third-round pick. I wouldn't want to see it any earlier than that. I don't think the Colts will end up getting Rondale Moore or Elijah because I think they'll be gone too early for them to pick. I really do believe that the first 2 picks for the Colts will be a defensive, will be a pass rusher and a left tackle, and I think both those guys will be gone by the end of the second round, probably by mid-second round. That's just my thought, Pedro. Let's see here. If Farley, Phillips, and Darrisaw all on the board, who you taking? Honestly, to me, I think ceiling-wise, Phillips has the highest ceiling of every pass rusher in this draft. I really believe that. Okay? There are questions about Phillips. I understand the questions about Phillips. He was healthy last year. Yes, he was told, he was basically put, early retirement, 3 years ago because of injuries, because he got hit by that car, literally, got in a vehicle accident, got hit by a car, then started having massive concussion problems, and the doctors were like, you can't play. And then went back a year and a half later, and the doctors, repealed that and said you could play. And then last year he played very, very well. So the injury history does not really hurt me too much. Honestly, in all honesty, if Phillips is there at 24, I would think that's a steal because I think he's a top 10 talent in the NFL. I think his injury worries is what is going to drop him. I don't know if Farley's available at 21, but it's a good pick. Okay. What's going on, Anthony Hurt? Appreciate you being here. Aquavion Hill. What's going... Hey, you added Colts to that, didn't you? Who do I think we play week 1? God, I hope it's not the Jacksonville Jaguars. In Jacksonville. That'd be awful. Honestly, I hope it's a, in my honest opinion, I hope it's a home game, and I hope it's a divisional home game. It'd be nice to see the Colts have a shot at winning their first game of the year for the first time in 5 years or something like that, maybe longer. That'd be amazing, right? So it'd be nice maybe play at home against Houston. I mean, you couldn't get a better start than that because there's a good chance that Watson won't even be able to start that game. So, just saying out there. Week 17 or game 17. Week 17 isn't that? I don't know. Is that Tampa Bay? I just said, yes, you added a name. You added Colts to Hill. Yes, I remember you definitely. A lot of teams going 17 first and 17 last. Okay. Probably Bucks on Halloween. That'd be weird, wouldn't it, Teddy Belcher? To play the Bucks on Halloween? Honestly, I would like to play the Patriots on Halloween. I think that would be a good game. That'd be fun. I get why you're saying Bucks. Either way, I mean, it's either Tom Brady or the rest of the daggone Patriots team, right, on Halloween. So that'd be great. Yes, when you said, hold on, where was it? Colts Nation says Texans are a mess, and it's just true. Anthony Hurt says, are they moving preseason to 3 games? I think so. I think so. And they should, since there's 17 games in the regular season. Honestly, I'd be okay with 2 games in preseason. and then maybe give a week of rest between both of them to help sanitize and give that extra time to make sure that COVID is not spread or anything like that. I'd be good with that. I still want to see the preseason games, but especially for new players on teams, I think that teams need that. They need it. You're getting hyped for the best Bear season ever? Okay. If the season started today, what would the Colts front seven be on D? Well, I have a feeling that Al-Qadim Muhammad would be our defensive end 1, then DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, and the defensive end 2 will either be Ben Banogu or Kamoko Toure. And then our outside linebackers would be Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, and depending, since you're saying front seven, probably EJ Speed. But since the Colts don't really play a lot of base, they play a lot of nickel, that Sam linebacker probably won't play that much. Skylar and Kirsten, thanks. What's going on, guys? Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Colts and Pats, always a fun game, very competitive, Pedro says. Generally, unless you're playing in the AFC Championship game and, something crazy happens and they get blown the freaking out. That's awful. I remember that game. That was horrible. I don't want to see blowouts. I don't want to see the Colts blow out the Patriots. I want to see a good, tough game. That's just me. I would love to play someone like the Rams on Christmas, Colts Nation says. And yes, that's a good possibility because, we play the NFC West this year. And any of the NFC West teams would be a good Christmas game. Really? Because that's probably the best division right now in football. Right? With the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals, who I honestly expect the Cardinals to be in it for the playoffs this year. Because they've just been adding players left and right. They already had a great offense. Now their defense is looking pretty okay. Hey, Lawrence, Daryl Ingram says, do you see Jordan Glasgow as being a fit as Sam in RD? Possibly. He was really, Jordan Glasgow was picked mainly to be a special teamer, but depending upon how he developed over the past year and this offseason, I think it's going to be Glasgow and Speed that'll be really fighting for that. Because, we do have other guys that can play Sam, but they're mostly special teamers, right? So, the Sam position really is open. And Glasgow, I think, is going to have that chance. Guys, I got to come back because my alarm is going off. Durr. Give me literally like 10 seconds. I'll be right back. Damn it. Gotta love it when things like that happen, right? Have an alarm set for 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, because generally my streams start at 5, right? You all know that, but I readjusted my live stream today because Bring the Juice was going live at 5, and I didn't want to have to compete with them. Maybe pull some guys from them, or they pull some guys from me. I don't like doing competition, especially with guys who cover the Indianapolis Colts as well. We're supposed to support each other. And so I moved my stream to 4 o'clock. I figured it was a Sunday. 4 o'clock is fine. Teddy says, trade next year's pick and force Pitt to draft higher. Baby. Oh, Hurt, good question. Do I think Mack or Taylor will break 1,000? I think Taylor will break 1,000. I think he'll probably get somewhere between 11 and 1,200 yards rushing. The reason why I don't think he'll get more than that is because how deep our running back core is. I can see Marlon Mack, if everyone stays healthy, I think Marlon Mack will get 600-700 yards. I think Taylor will get 11 to 12. And Hines will probably get 200, maybe 300. I think we end up with about 2,100 yards rushing as a team this year. Not because of yards per carry, but because I think that our running game will be so good that a lot of teams will stack the box, right, to stop the run. And that'll put the ball more in Carson Wentz's hands for RPOs and play action. So I think that you're going to see a lot more throws from Carson Wentz this year than what a lot of people expect. Maybe not game 1 or game 2, but, as the season progresses and people realize how dangerous our run game is going to be, you're just going to see a lot of 8, even 9-man boxes, right? That's just my thought. I don't see Mack carrying the ball more than Jonathan Taylor, though, this year. Because Jonathan Taylor really started to turn it on at the end of the year last year. I love Marlon Mack. And I think Mack will get a lot of touches. Skylar says, I love the TJ Carrie re-signing. I thought he did a great job last year in all the roles he did. And I agree, 110%. I think he did a great job in the roles that he did. Not just, like I said, not just on the defense, where he would come in earlier in the season. He would come in as your dime corner. Occasionally, when someone needed a rest or got hurt for a second, he would come in and play the starter position. Generally outside, if Moore needed a break, then he would come in for him. And then late in the season, the Colts used TJ Carrie over Rock Ya-Sin because Rock was having problems with man coverage, getting a lot of calls and holding calls and stuff like that. So they used him a lot. And not just that, like I said, special teams. He was a really good special teamer. He had that block against the Titans in Week 10, or he didn't get the block. EJ Speed had that block. And but he was right there as the ball was blocked. He legitimately had a shot at blocking it himself. And even though he didn't block it, he was able to pick it up running in for a touchdown. So, Nano505 asks me, who's your favorite Colts player? Currently, right now, I love DeForest Buckner. But he's only been a Colt for a year. I love Xavier Rhodes, but he's only been a Colt for a year. I'm a defensive guy, by the way, if you haven't noticed. So I'm going to go. My favorite before was Anthony Walker Jr., but he's not on the team anymore. He's a Cleveland Brown. You have no idea how upset I was about that. And I understood that he probably wouldn't be a Colt, but for the amount that he was signed for, that really ticked me off. Probably go with Kenny Moore right now. There's just something about a smaller guy who plays bigger than he is that really gets you up and going, man. And I love how Kenny Moore plays. Colts Nation says, I really felt bad for the Titans punter. Right? And then, what's funny is during the broadcast, Joe Buck was like, somewhere right now, Pat McAfee is burning because, a punter got his, kick blocked. And I'm sitting there going, for some reason, I don't think Pat McAfee was upset about that particular block punt because it was against the Titans versus the, Colts did it against the Titans. So I was like, Joe Buck, come on, dude. You got to know better than that. Matthew asks me, is there any chance that we sign Justin Houston? Absolutely. I think there's a chance we re-sign Justin Houston, even if, I mean, he's been to multiple. He just left the Baltimore Ravens this past week and left without a deal, right? Even if we pick somebody up in the first round, I think bringing back Justin Houston is a smart move because of his veteran leadership, right? Because we have a lot of youth on that defensive line, especially at edge rusher. It's going to be incredibly young. Every edge rusher we have outside of Al-Qadim Muhammad will still be on their rookie deal. And Al-Qadim, he's not old either. So having that veteran guy in that edge rush group would be a smart move to have. And he's already been there a couple years, so he understands the system and he understands the guys around him. It'd just be a good move, I think. Excuse me, I had the hiccups. I don't think that they need to pay him $10 million. I like to see a 1 year, $7-8 million contract, but I think Houston is going to wait until after the draft and see if anybody is even more desperate for a pass rusher and probably sign there. Harrison, what's up? I'm happy about this signing, but I'm pretty sure this means Ballard is going to wait another year until he drafts a stud cornerback. We are also bringing Tell back. Do you think I'm right? Yeah. We will not be grabbing a cornerback first or second round this year. I don't see it. Possibly third or fourth, depending upon, if he gets an extra pick back from, maybe trading back or something. But I agree. And Marvell Tell, like you said, he took last year off from COVID. So he'll be back, but there's rust in that. That's why this offseason is so important. Daryl says, hey, do you think the Colts don't draft safety because Carrie could play free safety? And so could Marvell Tell? Thanks for taking my questions. Dude, all of you who are in here, all 24 of you, 27, I take questions from the chat. That's me. You guys make this channel, not just me. So obviously, I am going to interact with you guys as much as I possibly can whenever I go live. So, thank you for being here because you guys make my channel. And that's a great question about the fact that we have guys that can play free safety. We have guys that can play strong safety. But yes, I agree. Honestly, I think that Rocky Sin would be an absolute stud at strong safety. A stud. Okay? Because he's more of a read-react guy, not someone who likes to man-cover somebody. And that's what strong safety, free safety is. They're more about, read-react kind of people. And Rock and all these guys that you're they're good tacklers. So, yeah. Absolutely. Hold on, I need to cough. Nomadic Brian, we'll be looking at Okereke in our edge rush production. I'm worried about that the most. I agree. I am worried about the edge rush production. We've got a lot of young talent on the team, but it's all unproven young talent. So, yeah, it worries me a little bit. Just Plain Folks is here. Good depth signing. Take the stress away from missing the third round pick. Yes, Just Plain Folks, I agree. And I still wouldn't, think that Ballard still might possibly, depending upon how the draft falls, still trade back and regain that third round pick. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. It just depends upon how the draft falls and who's available for him at the 21st pick. But yeah. The little we seen of Xavier Rhodes actually playing cornerback on the outside, I thought looked extremely promising. Do you think he will get more of a chance to start on the outside this year? Asked Skylar and Kirsten. I don't know about starting because we got some good quality guys. I think Rodgers will probably get more playing time. Obviously, training camp, preseason, that kind of stuff, that's going to kind of iron out things more for that cornerback 2 spot because we all know Xavier Rhodes has a cornerback 1 spot locked down. But, I mean, you gotta remember, we got TJ Carrie. We got Rock Ya-Sin, Marvell Tell, and then Isaiah Rogers. So we got a lot of youth, outside of Carrie and Rhodes in the defensive back position. So we might see more Isaiah Rogers. He's very, very fast. But I don't know. I honestly, I am not 100%. I liked what I saw from him, but he did make a few mistakes here and there. Much to my chagrin. Let's see here. Does Bring the Juice start at 4? I just got a notification that starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you're Central, yes, it starts at 4. Do you think that we're going to trade for Orlando Brown? Calvin Sutton, that says. Off the top, no. If by some weird chance Ballard misses on getting an offensive tackle this year in the draft, then there's a slim chance that he may trade for him with next year's pick. But I don't know if that actually happens because I didn't see a whole lot of hardcore interest from the Colts on Orlando Brown during the offseason. So I don't know if that'll actually happen. Just Plain Folk, good question. What are you doing for the draft, Lawrence? Let's do a live stream recap each day. Maybe Kent Sterling on it. Here's an issue, Just Plain Folks. I am the broadcast coordinator for the Indianapolis Express, and believe it or not, I have to be in Indianapolis doing the coverage of one of their games on that Friday. So I won't be able to do that coverage. Now, day 1 on Thursday and day 3 on Saturday is a possibility. I will be doing live, going over it. Day 3, I may not cover the whole thing. I may cover, but man, that's like 4 hours, right? Or longer, but I still may do it anyhow. I know most guys don't like doing the coverage over a long stretch like that, but if I don't have anything else scheduled for that day, then I may actually do it. I may even bring some of the Colts guys, a lot of you guys in here that really know a lot about college, bring you in and get some ideas about that if you have the willingness to do that. If you do have a willingness to do that, drop it in the comment section after this video is done, and I will get with you on that. John Danemark, what's going on? I feel like our surprise draft pick that Chris does this year is going to be Mac Jones, quarterback, 21. I don't think so. I get what you're saying, but I don't think Mac Jones makes it past 15. If Mac Jones makes it to 15, I think the Patriots snag him up quicker than snot because they need a good, young, high-ceiling quarterback. And he kind of fits that Patriot style. I don't think Mac Jones makes it to 21 at all. I like where you're going with it, but I don't think that player makes it. Harrison Height, what's going on? Are there going to be training camp battles this season? I feel like we have a lot of positions this season that may be up for grabs. You're absolutely right. Cornerback 1, Sam, linebacker, pass rush is going to be up for grabs, especially the defensive end at 2. Right, the spot that sits to the outside of Grover Stewart, I think will be a spot. I honestly believe the tight end 1 spot between Mo Alley Cox and Jack Doyle will probably be up for grabs. Outside of that, I think everything else has been pretty well established. I don't think there's going to be much of a battle with the free or strong safety. I don't. Your Mike linebacker's probably locked down with Bobby Okereke. Darius Leonard's got his. Both defensive tackles are set. Left tackle will probably already be like solidified if it's grabbed in the draft. The rest of the offensive line is set. Michael Pittman, T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell. I think are your set 1, 2, 3 wide receivers. It could change, but I think that is the honest and I'm pretty sure that the running back committee is going to be set as well with Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, Naheem Hines, and then we can't forget about Wilkins as well. I think we still carry Wilkins because as we saw last year, having 4 running backs really do help. And there's no one is going to take Carson Wentz off the starting position after what we're paying him and what we traded for him. Just Plain Folks talks about evening recaps. The problem with doing, like on the Friday stream that I have, I won't get home till after midnight Eastern Standard. Okay? I am gone for 10 hours that day. So, probably won't be happening. Now, I could do a recap the next day, recapping what happened on day 2. That one guy says, do you see Ballard trading back? Absolutely. I'm not saying it's like set in stone. I don't think that's his number one option. But I think that, if there's not a guy that he really likes grabbing at 21 there, I think he will look to trade back. Absolutely. Because we all know how much Ballard likes his draft picks. He said multiple times, draft picks are like darts. The more you have, the more chances you had of hitting a bullseye, right? So, he likes having multiple shots in the draft. But there's a guy, and he might not trade back in the first. He could trade back in the 4th or 5th and pick up more picks later on in the draft like he did last year. That happens. He does it. That's where most likely I expect to see more trade backs is in the later rounds of the draft rather than early like everybody else is saying. I'm excited this year to see Wentz. This is Skyler. Run the offense this year. I believe with the run game and Reich's game plan that we will host a top 3 offense this year. What's your opinion on that? I think it'll be a top 5 offense. We had the number 10 offense last year. It was the number 11 passing attack, number 11 rushing attack. I think this year, with a lot of these guys having a little bit more seasoning under their belt, a little health, and an off season, because remember last year, the offense really didn't start taking off till about week 10 because there was no offense or off season. Rivers was new, a lot of new guys. Jonathan Taylor was new, Michael Pittman was new, had injuries, all this kind of stuff. Paris Campbell goes down, Marlon Mack goes down. I think we're going to start off a little more healthier, and guys are going to be more in a groove and understand each other a lot more, and they'll be able to hit the ground running a lot better than what they did last year. And they ended up 10 in the NFL. I could see them being 5 this coming season. That one guy says, a better question, who has to be off the board for the Ballard to trade back? I think it has to be the guys that he has listed as the tackle or offensive tackle or pass rusher at 21 that he has that he wants to get at that spot, right? I think if those guys are gone, whoever he has at the top of his board, because I'm not going to assume, a lot of people, you and I, we might have certain names at tackle or certain names at pass rush that we would put there, but we don't know what Ballard has. But whatever those guys are there, if they're off the board, like, he's probably got 3 or 4 pass rushers and probably 3 or 4 offensive tackle names that he might pick up at 21. And if they're gone, I could see him trading back. Donald Shelton. I think the Colts will draft an edge first and tackle second. That is what I hope if the draft falls proper. That's exactly what I hope for if the draft falls proper. But when does it ever fall proper? That's my only worry. Jeff Smith, 1984. I was really excited for our draft class last year. I feel like that they made most of the memorable plays in our playoff game against the Bills. And the moment wasn't too big for them. Well, it helps when you have a good locker room with veteran players who have been there and done that, right? DeForest Buckner's been there and done that. Xavier Rhodes has been there and done that, right? Phillip Rivers, been there, done that. So you had guys who have been there and done that to help keep everybody, Justin Houston, right? Calm and collected and just be like, it's just another game, guys. Just go out there and play your best, you know? And that's why, you know, having those veteran leaders on the team is so important. And that's why I really wouldn't mind Justin Houston, whether we pick a guy in the draft or not for a pass rush. I wouldn't mind bringing Houston back for a reasonable contract. Okay, that one guy. Do you see Pittman this season take the double team off T.Y.? I think it's going to be more than just that. I think it's going to be the entire offense in itself. You're not going to be double teaming T.Y. nearly as much if the running game is effective, because you're going to be bringing safeties down to help protect against that, which is going to take the over the top off. You're only going to have single high if you bring a safety down. On top of that, T.Y. will have no problem with double teams, because if Pittman and Campbell are healthy, and I'm telling you, Paris Campbell, when healthy, is dangerous as heck. I've been looking at his film all day for my film room that I'm going to drop tomorrow. Paris Campbell is the scariest receiver on this team. All right. I'm not saying he's going to be the top receiver he's the scariest receiver on this team when healthy. So we have good weapons all across the board, in my opinion, at the starting positions all the way across the board. We probably could get a little bit of an upgrade tied in, but I think Mo Alley Cox should be able to move into that spot. Like to see what happens with him. But yeah, I don't think T.Y. will get nearly double teamed just because of the weapons we have. Ant Rogers says, what's going on? And hey, appreciate you being here. Hope you like the Carrie Willis film room that I dropped for you. I told you I would do it, and I even did it before the Paris Campbell. So thank you so much for being a supporter of mine. Not just here, but on Patreon as well. If you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon. It's at Patreon/Colts Law. You can check that out in the description of this video down below. Anyone who wants to join, become a patron of mine, it's only $5 a month. And you get all content that I have, whether it's here, whether it's audio podcasts, whether I join another stream, because I join other people's at least twice a week. So all of my content all in one. And then, of course, patrons have first dibs, basically, of suggesting content that I put out, whether it be film rooms or topics for live streams or something of that nature. So make sure you go check out Patreon. Don't forget to check out my merch shop right here. The direct link is in the description as well. Hey, if you're 26 people here watching this, please smash that like button down here. Hit subscribe, tag the notification bell, right? That notification bell is so important. How many times have you been sitting there waiting for someone to go live and you never got the notification they went live? It's because you didn't hit the notification bell. Turn all notifications on. That way you don't miss an upload or a live stream. I'm just letting you know. If you had to choose, Harrison Hype asks, one move you are happiest about Ballard done so far this offseason, would you choose signing Carson Wentz, re-signing one of your own players, or are you more excited about the draft? I'm excited about the draft. Carson Wentz, I think, has a shot at being a good quarterback. I'm going to trust in Frank Reich because Ballard's trusting in Frank Reich about that. That's the whole reason why they traded for him. Bringing guys back, yes, I love that. They didn't bring back everyone that I wanted, but, that's how things work. Ballard does all his damage in the draft. So that's where I'm waiting. I think the draft is going to be that time. I mean, Ballard's the number 1 ranked drafting GM in the NFL over the past 4 years. Number 1. You can't not be excited about this upcoming draft. I think re-signing T.Y. was the move I'm happiest about. And then 1B, re-signing Mac. I like T.Y. re-signing because he brings an aspect that Carson Wentz likes at the wide receiver position. And Marlon Mack is just a no-brainer. I love that. Loved that. Without any question. Michael H. Which remaining free agent edge guys do you like? Justin Houston, Ryan Kerrigan. Simple. And the reason I say that isn't because I don't think they'll be like a super producers, but I think that their veteran leadership for the youth that our team is going to have at the edge pass rush will be much, much needed. Roger says that he did appreciate that film room. I'm glad you liked it. That's my goal. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be ending this very, very shortly because Bring the Juice will be doing theirs, and I don't want to compete with them for this, right? I don't want to be holding off on their stuff. So make sure you go check out Bring the Juice once I end this stream right here because they're doing a mock draft. If you're interested in the mock draft stuff, I might join Bring the Juice just because I'm not a big guy. I never do mock drafts of my own because they're just not that interesting to me because they don't fall like that for us, and it's not the real deal. I will talk and break down players all day long, but I don't like, putting up pretend, if that makes any sense at all. It's kind of like, in my opinion, watching someone else play Madden or commentating Madden, which I had to do for Sportscaster for a while. It's just, Have a good one, Nano505. Everyone else here, thanks so much. 25 viewers currently. It's been 58 minutes that I've been live. Please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. I broke 1,300 subscribers. My goal is 1,500 by the end of April. So help me out. There's a share button right down here. You can share it to your favorite social media, whether it be, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, or some of your Colts blogs or NFL blogs, whatnot. Please help share my stream because it's people like you that allow me to be who I am and give the content that I give. And until next time, as usual, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and I want you. Have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.